Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omeezy, aka Omar, aka Let's Keep It a Buck O, aka a lot of things. Listen, I don't want to harp on my names. I want to talk about this TV show. But before we get into why Velma might be one of the most hated and yet most worst TV shows on the net, please go ahead and drop a subscribe button and join and all those other things. I have different views and perspectives on Velma, but I don't even really want to make this about Velma. I want to make this more so about Mindy Kaling and why people are calling her the Tyler Perry of Southeast Asian people. If you don't know, Mindy Kaling is responsible for a new show that's on HBO Max called Velma, which is an adaptation or her version of Velma from the Scooby-Doo story. You know, the Scooby-Doo that's a way old cartoon. People have grown to know and love this show. And Mindy Kaling is a Southeast Asian actress, director, producer who's been on a couple of different things. Started off on The Office, the Mindy Project. I think she has some like production credits on A New Girl. She's been all over the place. But the thing about Mindy Kaling is that she has a common theme about her, and it's not just told by me, it's told by many other like Southeast Asian people, is that she seems to be a self-loather, hence the connection to Tyler Perry. But I'm gonna get into all that. I wanna first do a little quick breakdown of Velma. And by quick, I mean really quick. Look, I don't think Velma's the greatest show. It's not groundbreaking comedy. If you've been paying attention to like adult cartoons for the past couple of years, they've gotten progressively less edgier, but also maybe a little bit smarter, and maybe an attempt to be smarter. It's a sign of the time. Things ever change. Things always evolve. I mean, it just is what it is. So with that being said, I don't necessarily hate Velma. I take it for what it is. It's a TV show to pass the time. Now, it does have its cringy moments like this.
Exactly. I spit truth without a filter, like every comedian before #MeToo.
Look.
And like this.
Have you ever noticed how pilot episodes of TV shows always have more gratuitous sex and nudity than the rest of the series?
So true. That's how we learned what Rachel Brosnahan's boobs look like.
And like this.
Get your drugs here. Narc. Narc. White girl with too much money. White girl with too much money.
You don't know me. I'm a white girl who's bored.
And like this.
Freeze! Person in baseball hat putting drugs in my daughter's locker and other Oompa Loompa person. We know you're the candy man.
And like this.
Are you an exchange student from a more sexually liberated country?
Boy, I don't know what she was doing with this one right here.
Ugh. This school sucks.
Yeah, I can't even lie. This one was a complete miss. This one was a complete miss right here.
Stop! No pictures! Unless it's in portrait mode. He looks like Hitler! And not just because we compare everyone to Hitler these days.
God, who approved? Who approved of that last one? Who approved of that one right there? But don't all shows have cringy moments and bad jokes that fall flat and stuff like that? I mean, especially in the first season. I don't expect it to be gangbusters. And to me, people are being like overly critical in the first 2 episodes. There are even people that are going out there as far as to say Mindy Kaling is racist, this depiction of Fred is racist, Velma's racist. They're throwing out the ist words, the bigotry words, the ick words. They're throwing out all these words about a show just because, I don't know, I've seen some people say that just it doesn't pique their nostalgia. Some of the common complaints that I've seen are like, oh, Shaggy isn't a stoner in this show. Why isn't Shaggy a stoner? If you can point to me, and I have yet to have somebody do it, point to me in the original series, not any other adaptation or reimagination of the show, the original series where Shaggy is explicitly a stoner. I would love to see it. Hell, even allude to it. I would love to see it. People are also mad because the elephant in the room, there's no Scooby so far. Like, Scooby-Doo is just non-existent in this entire franchise so far. And I mean, it's only 2 episodes, so there's a possibility that Scooby could come in. But damn, I mean, give it a time. But with that also being said, this isn't a Scooby-Doo show. This is Velma. People are also upset about Fred's adaptation being whiny, being complainy, being a little bitch or whatever the case may be. And probably the most glaring, I mean, and this happened when The Little Mermaid came out, but I didn't think it was a big deal back then. People think it's a big deal. The fact that Velma is X, not white, people are very upset. I've seen people call her black. That's the only reason why I said X. I personally believe this is Mindy Kaling's adaptation. Like, this is herself as Velma. I think she's Southeast Asian in this. So I don't know where people are saying like she's black comes from. I don't know. But I think that people just aren't giving this show a chance. Hell, give it a chance. It may not be a show for you. I understand people's complaints, I guess, but I feel like people are being overly critical. Now, with that being said, let's be overly critical of Mindy Kaling. So although the show isn't the best show, it's not one of the better adaptations of maybe a Scooby-Doo mystery. Hell, trust me, I favor like a pup named Scooby-Doo. I feel like a pup named Scooby-Doo is like one of the best shows out ever. People, specifically Southeast Asian people, specifically Southeast Asian women, have a problem with Mindy Kaling's depiction of Southeast Asian women. Watch this clip from TikTok that I found.
Clearly, someone's trying to frame me. And I wasn't lurking. I was waiting to shower alone.
Because of your weight?
What? No.
Because of your handsome face?
My face is fine.
Because of your hairy gorilla arm?
No, because I hate your stupid adopted daughter and her fake-ass friend.
So off the rip, commenting about, the stereotypes about her own people. It's shocking. It's something that people do, self-loathing, but let's continue.
Hey, watch where you're going, jerk. Oh, hey, Fred.
Do I know you?
It's Velma from, is it called Rudeness?
It is. You're like smart.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're not a compliment. Anyway,
Norville.
Velma, not while I'm live. I can't get banned for your thoughts on South Asian desserts again.
I'm so sorry. I know. It's okay. Like the dessert course at an Indian restaurant. Just forget it.
So clearly there's some self-loathing, self-deprecation, and people find that comedy kind of funny. But apparently this seems to be like a common theme with Mindy Kaling.
An Indian loser with cystic acne, sweaty armpits, and glasses. But with one LASIK procedure, an Accutane prescription, and medical-grade Botox injected into my armpits,
Mindy Kaling, just because you are an Indian loser does not mean Indians are losers. It's here every day. At this point, you're genuinely doing more harm than good.
This is a whole nother show produced by Mindy Kaling. I believe that snippet was from the Mindy Project, a show that's titled after Mindy Kaling herself, where she has every single opportunity in a space and place that's lacking diversity, specifically from like the Southeast Asian perspective, as a woman who is definitely darker, than others on the platforms that she populates. She's given a lot of opportunities to shine and put her people in a light. However, even as told by her own people, she continues to self-deprecate and self-loathe at every single chance that she gets. That's why she's getting the moniker as the Asian or South Asian Tyler Perry here.
no, because of your handsome face.
My face is fine.
Because of your hairy gorilla arm?
It's getting irritating, Mindy. You're becoming very predictable, and it's becoming very blatantly obvious that you hate yourself and you for some reason don't like being Indian. There are so many beautiful things about being Indian. I'm all about self-deprecating jokes, but I don't think you're joking. I think you just hate being Indian because everything you make is just you being like Indians. We're just strict and we don't like ourselves because we're hairy, and no boy will ever love me because I'm Indian. The rest of that scene with Velma, she gets revealing clothes and she does her makeup, and then everybody's like, oh my god, I changed my opinion, you're actually not a gross hairy monster. And it's always like, oh, I have a white boy love interest, we hate each other, we kissed one time and now I'm deeply in love because I've never kissed a boy before, because who would want to kiss my ugly Indian face?
Look, I think what she's saying here is very valid. In a space where Mindy Kaling holds a unique status in Hollywood, she has opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I can't think of many Southeast Asians or even just Asians that have the opportunities to show representation about themselves as much as she does. In every one of her shows, I will say this, she always includes a Southeast Asian person and puts on for their culture to an extent. But I think the main problem is that the putting on that she does is mainly stereotypes. It's mainly self-loathing jokes. It's nothing about excellence. It's nothing about, how great you can be as a Southeast Asian person. Most recently, when Kamala Harris got elected with Joe Biden to be president and vice president, she put a picture up and a tweet up, and she said that I was hugging my daughter and I told my daughter, hey baby, that's somebody that looks like us. And it was so interesting to a lot of the people in the South Asian community as you scroll through some of the comments of the tweet, and they said, you recognize that we can be great things, but how come on your TV shows all you do is dump on us? All you do is dump and dump and dump on us at every single chance that you get. Why is that?
I like Mindy Kaling. Every show that she's written on or been a producer of, I really enjoy. However, her obsession with white men in her work needs to be addressed because it's getting out of hand. Listen, her preference in her private life is fine. I really don't give a shit. However, when it comes to writing, it seems like she inserts herself and her preference into the characters to the point where it is incredibly noticeable. We have the Mindy Project, her and Danny. The main character is literally named after herself, so I'm like, okay, I guess she's just inspired by her real life, whatever. But then I watched her show Never Have I Ever. Great show, by the way, highly recommend it. But one of Devi's main love interests is Ben. And now we have the sex lives of college girls, Bella and Eric. Do you see a pattern? I was gonna let it go and not say anything until this preference started affecting the other characters, because they broke up the black couple, so they can now presumably put this character with the white guy. Mindy, please. At this point, it is not a coincidence. I don't understand her obsession with BJ Novak. I don't know what the fuck they have going on. It's none of my business, even though I am nosy and I want to know. I know they always encourage writers to write what they know, but my God, it does not have to be this close to home.
The most interesting thing about this situation right here is that even in these shows that she's naming, it's usually like the white guy, the white love interest is a douchebag to the Indian or Southeast Asian, I apologize if my, terminology isn't right, is a douchebag to the Southeast Asian woman, and simultaneously she still finds every excuse to forgive and attempt to fall in love with said person. So it's not even like she's falling for a good guy, she's literally falling for a douchebag. And the reason why stuff like this is important, like I said, that last clip showed that show after show after show after show after show, she has opportunity after opportunity to show that like this is why we're not a monolith as Southeast Asian people. And she also has the opportunity to put on other Southeast Asian people because she believes that they are a part of excellence, referencing her tweet about Kamala Harris. But you don't even give a Southeast Asian man an opportunity. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even be mad if she gave another Southeast Asian woman an opportunity and made them like a lesbian interest for this person. But she doesn't even do that. She automatically goes to a douchebag white guy.
Mindy Kaling's obsession with white men actually tells us a lot about the dynamic between non-black women of color and white men. One of the ways that we might internalize white supremacy is by accepting white manhood as the standard of masculinity in the middle of a spectrum in which Asian men are too effeminate and black men are over-sexual. Often non-black minorities try to distance themselves from blackness to approximate whiteness more closely to achieve some of the privileges of whiteness.
And this even shows itself in the series Velma. Like I said 2 seconds ago, even given an opportunity to make them a lesbian love interest, she didn't even decide to introduce maybe a new character and make them non-white. No, she decided, hey, I'm going to be edgy and I'm going to be different here, and I'm going to make Velma a lesbian or a bisexual person, but I'm not going to slate them in with somebody else that's of color because I still got to get as close to whiteness because I feel these certain ways about the white identity in America. Let's slap Velma on her lips. Even during a panic attack, like that doesn't make any sense.
This can manifest itself through non-black women of color romantically engaging with white men to approximate whiteness more closely. This book, The Dating Divide, has really interesting insight into this. Minorities sensing that they are perceived as forever foreigners may adopt a coping strategy that involves enlisting whiteness, that is, seeking a relationship with a white person, as a way to be included in the mainstream society or signal belonging.
And I've talked about this before on like live streams and Twitter spaces, that people fetishize white people as some sort of power symbol. Especially if you're somebody who's migrated over, immigrated over from another country, you note them as like a notch on your belt. You got a job, you got a degree, you got a house, and you have, if you can't find somebody of your same ethnic or national background, then you get a white person. And honestly, sometimes for some people, it's even more important to, if you're Eritrean, get out of that area and go ahead and get somebody that's white, because white is a symbol of power and it's a symbol of success in this world. They will free you and you will be seen as the top of the Southeast Asian food chain if you can get with somebody white, the top of the Mexican food chain, the top of the Asian food chain, the top of the African food chain in America if you can get with somebody white, because that's as close as you're gonna get to whiteness in their mind. But that's just not how it works. That's not how it works. I want you to know that in the big power circles, the white people that are in power look at those that date minorities a certain way too. But you can see Mindy Kaling doing this all through her representation in the media.
Hi, My name is Priya Prakash. As you can tell, I'm Indian. It's so embarrassing being Indian because my mom is super strict. It's so annoying, and I wish I was white sometimes. I'm so horny all the time. No one wants to even have sex with me because I'm so ugly and Indian. My life would be so much better if I looked like Jessica from Spanish class. Don't get me started on my worst enemy, Jordan Goldberg. We've been enemies forever. He doesn't realize how much smarter I am than him.
That snippet right there reminds me of when the Boondocks imitated like a Tyler Perry movie or a Tyler Perry play, and they did it on Atlanta as well. Like, as a black person, sometimes I feel the same exact way about Tyler Perry. I think he's done a good job in some aspects, but sometimes the self-loathing is just too much. But hey, this might have reached the right audience. Hopefully it does. Let me know, man. I could be wrong.